Alright, we are live, and it is, don't tell me, Monday, October 8th, 2018. Welcome to episode 2 of Funny Like a Clown podcast. I'm your host, Dennis Wirth. We're here to make you laugh, we're here to amuse you. I got big shoes, he's got a big nose, and no, I'm kidding. That's like an Italian stereotype, right?
Yeah,
he's got a big nose.
Such a stereotype.
But we're here to prove. See, his nose is no bigger than mine.
It's also true.
See? No. Anyway, we are here to discuss comedian Robin Williams. And let me set the precedence for this. We're in the big town of Gardner, Massachusetts here. And we got the big chair. We got a big chair because it was once the furniture capital in New England.
Right.
And what else do we got in Gardner?
You know,
that's about it, right? We got a big chair. We got a big chair because we were the furniture capital. But you give a class on comedy here locally at Mount Washington Community College.
Yep.
I took a class 10 years ago.
Yep.
We've been friends ever since. 10 years. And during the class, you posed the questions to the students. You went around the class, you asked them, who was your favorite comedian? I chose Sam Kinison. Once we were done, I posed the question to you. I said, well, who was your favorite comedian? You thought about it for a minute. You started to shake your head, and the words that came out of your mouth were Robin Williams.
Yeah.
What made those words come out of your mouth?
Robin Williams was such one of the pioneers, along with Kinison, Dangerfield, Bob Hope. You can go on.
One of the originals, yeah, Godfathers.
But Robin Williams is one of the ones. Not that he broke the mold, because Sam Kinison did his own thing. Sam Kinison made the rant and rave famous.
As far as shock comedy, he was the first shock comedy.
But he ranted and raved, yeah. It was always funny. It was always funny. It was very creative. But
original.
You know, and he just look. If he calls it.
They're already calling. See, we're calling at the restaurant I work at.
But Robin Williams broke the mold for just somebody who just stood on stage and things came out of his mouth.
He was big on improv. He could take a moment and just turn it into. He'd tell you stories, and they say the Italians, they always got to use their hands. Well, he was like that. He was telling the story, and he was acting it out.
Yep.
As he was telling the joke, he was acting out every minute of it. But
and he never stood in one place, which amazed me, because most comics stand in front of
the mic and tell jokes.
They move a bit, but he
gave a show.
Physical, and he's going back and forth, and he didn't do like how we always talk about how comics can make us nervous when they pace. He paced, and it made you interested.
Right,
like, what's going to come out of his mouth next?
Going with the routine that he was doing, right?
And that provided his energy. And I looked at someone like that saying, like, oh, this guy feeds off the audience. How did he do that?
He gets them
a
involved.
lot of us can't do it. I mean, you could do it sometimes.
Well, you're like that too. You're high energy. I'm on high energy.
Right, and that
a lot of comics are, yeah.
And you feed off the audience. And when I saw him doing that, when I first started watching comedy, when I got in my teenage years, when I could understand it, and in my 20s and 30s, I said, this guy's brilliant because...
And people think, that crowds are there almost to laugh, and sometimes you got to get the crowd going. It's tough to get them laughing, and high energy will do it, and Robin surely had it.
And it's not an automatic, but he always made it look so easy.
He was a natural. It was some people are naturally, and...
What's going to come out of his mouth next?
People got to work at it, but what's your earliest memory of Robin Williams?
Earliest memory of him, I think I watched like an HBO special, it had to be in the 80s. And he was on... He did like a one-man show, and it's just incredible. And I just watched him, and he come out, and he go from one level to another level. So it's like he had the seriousness, and then he get into it, and then he go totally off the wall, totally unexpected.
Totally, it was one story after another. He wasn't so much for punchlines, but he'd tell a story, and the story was just funny. Every part of it was him acting it out, but. I guess most of what I remember him for was Happy Days.
And
right, that was a spin-off from Happy Days, because he played Mork on Happy Days, and I remember the old, the Fonz with the cool and the Mork with the finger, and then crossing, that was the big thing.
And that's another memory, just to see him, like, before he get famous, then you'd say, like, oh, that's the guy from Mork and Mindy? Wow, how do you do that? And he was one of the few, and if you think about it, think of many comedians that could transition from TV to movies to comedy. He's one of the few, and everything was successful.
Yeah, I don't remember much he had that went wrong. I mean, he was one of the few comics that could keep working and had a built-in audience that would just keep coming out to see him. But sure, then he went on to Mork and Mindy, which lasted, I don't know how many seasons it lasted for, but I mean, it was one of the hot shows on TV. It was one of the must-watch back then. It was Happy Days with Vern and Shirley, Mork and Mindy. They were the must-watch you had to be home for back then. Because TV was it. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have all that. I mean, you had your must show. Then The thing he was big for was like turning. I mean, he'd take this cup of coffee and he'd just out of the blue tell you for a half hour he'd go off on a cup of coffee, making it funny. He'd make it funny, but then they brought in Jonathan Winters, who was another legendary improv comic, right?
He was his mentor.
And them working together, that extended the show, you know, a little longer than it probably would have ran to begin with. But then he hit the movies big time, and I remember his first big role, which a lot of people forget, was Popeye.
Yeah, and the thing about Popeye, and people never, if you watch the movie, he would say things under his breath like Popeye did. And those things under his breath were funny. And someone goes, what are you laughing at? And I'm watching the movie, go, watch it again and watch when he comes out, when he's talking about olive oil, or he's talking about being he'd say words wrong like Popeye used to.
Backwards, yeah.
Remember when they were like, I guess, ladies in the evening, he'd say, more like you're in a house of ill repute. He goes, more like house of ill repute. You know, he'd say something like that. And you're like, how'd you catch that? You gotta listen.
Well, they said Mork and Mindy, remember he used to talk fast sometimes when he was going off, and they said he talked fast because he was trying to get it past the censors. He figured if he said it quick, the censors might not catch it, he could get it past them, and being edgy on TV, that's what it'd sell, but you had to get it past the censors, and that was how he did it, was going from talking fast, but
And he started the improv at that show, because remember he'd make up lines, and people would be like, let him go with it.
Yeah, just let him go. They did that with Jonathan Winters. They just put him in like an old attic. They built an old attic or stuff, and he just went down to each piece and just made a comedy routine out of each piece in the attic.
And you watched him a lot too. Remember you were a kid watching?
Yeah. Back in the day, he was one of the Godfathers. Yeah, and Robin took what he did and brought it to the next level.
He was like his son. His illegitimate son.
What were some of Robin's favorite movies that you watched that he did?
You know, Good Morning Vietnam stands out.
Good Morning Vietnam.
You know, he did the half serious, half funny.
Yeah.
And he made fun of the government. He made fun of being in the military, and he's all officers saying like, "You got to get him off here. No, we got to keep him on here because he was famous, and the soldiers loved him."
They wanted him, yeah. That was spun off a Platoon. I remember.
Yeah, definitely.
They were doing the military movies,
and he was more like the modern day Bob Hope, and which was
helping the military.
Yeah, he was doing the military, but he had his own radio show, and then the military realized this guy's famous. This guy's helping our soldiers. We got to keep him on.
He could take any role and just make it his own. He really, you know. Then later, I mean, he was known for comedy, but then he did some serious roles as actors.
Yeah.
And even as a serious actor, he really pulled it off. I think he won, I don't know if he won Oscars or Grammys or what, but he was really considered for a lot of dramatic roles, which, you know, you remember as a comedian, not a dramatic actor. But
what was that one? Was it 24-hour photo with the one where he was...
he was the bad guy in that one, yeah.
Creeping on the girl.
The one with the kids, the Dead Poets Society, where he played a teacher, and he played a serious role there, and it was an inspiring movie that inspired you.
Very inspiring.
I know one of your favorites you said was Mrs. Doubtfire. That's the all-time classic. And
Mrs. Doubtfire was just, he improv throughout that movie. And again, you had to catch the little things that he mumbled when he was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, right.
Like when Pierce Brosnan was a new boyfriend of Sally Field. And they went to the, what was it, this private club, and they were in the pool. And she goes, oh, look, there he is. And he'd look at the little girl and goes, oh, look, Annie, that's liposuction, he said, you know. And he'd mumble stuff too. Same deal. And if you didn't pick it up, you'd be like, what did he say?
What was he saying? You had to rewind. Oh, okay.
But Mrs. Doubtfire was brilliant, you know.
Oh, I mean, I fight for father's rights. I'm an activist for that. And that became one of the all-time movies, father's rights, because, you know, he had to portray a woman to spend more time with his children. That was the way he got around the system, and it became a all-time movie for that.
And I believe that was one of the second or third movie that a guy impersonated a woman. The other one was Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
And he pulled it off, but it was funny, but Robin Williams made Mrs. Doubtfire such a smash, such a family movie, such an anybody movie, a date movie. It was like
anybody could
watch it. It was nothing offensive.
Yeah.
You had your kids watch it. You could sit and watch it with your mom saying like, he's not going to say anything bad. He played around with women's parts.
And he turned the painful situation into something funny though, which what he was known for.
Which I like the message at the very end.
Yeah.
Defining what a family really is, and I'm sure that hit you.
And it's true, it's everything we already said, it's true. I did want to say one quick story about Robin Williams that I saw it on the internet, I thought it was cool, was he got a call one time, and it was from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they had a little girl, and I forget what disease she had. She was only 12 years old, and she only had a week to live, and they asked her what her dream was, and they said it was to meet Robin Williams. They got in touch with him, and they said he never asked for any money. He said, what's her address? Tell her I'll be there tomorrow. I said, that was one of the coolest things, you know, never asked for flight money or anything. He said, you tell her I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
He was giving back, and I know you do a lot of charity benefits. You're like that too. I am too. We like to give back. I mean, a lot of comics, they'd rather get the big payday. I mean, you'd rather get gas money and help people out because that's just how we are. But he did the one, I don't remember the name of it, where he was a doctor, where he went to a clown, dressed up as a clown, and he went to the hospitals, and he'd entertain the kids.
And that was off a true story of
that was an actual doctor who did that. Remember you telling me one time that'd be something cool you'd like to do with something like that, go entertain the ill.
And the closest I would get to that is going to hospitals and talking to support groups, or talking to support groups outside of hospitals, or even right now when I do the Hope Lodge in Boston, which is
the Hope Lodge, right?
Cancer patients are there, and I do a show.
As I say, laughter is the best medicine, right? That's what, you know.
Love it, yeah.
If you can laugh about it.
And that movie, now it slips me too, but that movie, that was actually a real life situation that a doctor did help out kids who were ill.
Yeah, it wasn't a true story that he was a part of.
Patch Adams.
Is that what it was? Patch Adams' name of it? Okay.
And it was a great movie, and it was sad in some respect because it's helping kids that probably don't have longer to live, but he made their day. He made their that.
Yeah, that made them forget about the pain for a while. We can't cure your problems, but we can make it forget about them for a little while.
And it's so ironic, and you know this, and I'm not trying to step on your questions, but he was depressed. He had depression.
Oh, sure, we're going to get to that. Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
Which a lot of comics are. That's a cover up for a lot of comics' pain. That's why they get into comedy.
Yeah,
It's an escape from their pain. But, you know, and they say, how do you beat diseases? How do you beat cancer? How do you beat multiple sclerosis? How do you beat multiple sclerosis? Is you have to laugh through it. You can never lose your sense of humor.
Right.
And I date a girl right now, Amy, a sweetheart. She's fighting MS.
She's a doll.
And I'll tell you what, every day she has a smile on your face. Hey, sweetie, she has a smile on her face. She never lets the disease. She jokes about it, you know, when she falls down, she'll get up and she'll say, well, after you're done laughing at me, pick me up, okay? But that's how you beat it. You can't let the disease, you know, get you depressed. You have to, she has a smile on her face every day. Just yesterday, she's at my house and she tripped in the bathroom. She's okay, but took out my sink and she said, pick me up, picked up, hugged her for a minute. We laughed about it. Said, well, we got to get the sink fixed, but at least you're okay. But she smiled about it. That's how you beat the disease, right?
She's a good kid, yeah. She was a nice person.
So, what are some of your favorite memories of Robin Williams? I mean,
stuff that he did. I know that him and a couple other people, it might have been Billy Crystal, they raised money, they raised awareness for, I think it was homeless.
The homeless, yeah.
They did that big thing.
It
was on HBO, and it was such a wonderful special, and yet he did the same thing. And he played off, I think Whoopi Goldberg was with him too.
Yeah, Robin, Whoopi, and Billy Crystal.
And they played off each other, but he was in command of that whole situation, the audience, the jokes, because, you know, he didn't mean to dictate it, but you know, out of the three,
he was the veteran comic who usually takes charge of the whole thing.
Don't get me wrong, the other two are very good comics, but
he was
you
the legend,
focused on him because you were waiting for him to say and do something. It's like, oh, and so that's
comic relief. That's what it was.
Yeah, and that was such a good thing. And that impressed upon me, and I'm sure impressed upon you and other comics.
He was a helper. A lot of comics weren't helpers, and you know, he was one of the ones that liked to give back. I always like that.
That's one of my favorite memories, and other memories are just the roles that he played in movies. And like I said, for him to be successful in comedy and acting, movies and TV, you don't get many that can pull that off.
Did you ever think he put out too much? Because I remember there was one time where he had a movie coming out, I wanted to see it, and then another movie, he had two movies out at the same time, and it was like, wow, I love you, man, I can't keep up, you're doing so, but it's good to keep busy. I know you keep real busy in comedy, but I mean, do you think there's overkill, or do you think it's never enough?
There's overkill, but it depends if you have that energy.
You got the drive, yeah.
And energy comes from above, it's a gift from above, and not many people can have it where they go 24/7 and say like, oh my God, I'm always thinking of stuff, I'm always doing stuff, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. But I mean, I work that way, but him, he was like.
But that's who gets ahead, right? Of the comics who go hard at it. If you sit at home by the phone waiting for it to ring, those ain't the ones that are going to get ahead.
Well, that's like you take the opportunities to come across you, like you had a chance to go to Alaska, you went to Vegas, you went to California. Yeah. I mean, I'm supposed to go on a TV show with my friend from New York. I have got people that want to be on my other show that I have in Apple, my favorite show. But they're from all over the country. My friend Butch Bradley's a successful comedian.
You live for the opportunity.
From out there, he goes, can I come in the show? I go, yeah, we could Skype you in. But it's like, if you don't take those opportunities and put them off, then these people who want to do things for you, they're like,
they might not come around
again.
But
you got to, and you know too, when someone says, hey, I'd like to do a show with you, Dennis, you'd be like, all right, well, let me arrange it. Others say like, yeah, I'll work on that. And then by the time you work on it, down the road, they're busy.
There's somebody else or something, you lose the opportunity, yeah.
We all have that pride, and some have it, and not that some don't, but some can handle so much. But you're working a full-time job.
Yeah, it's tough. You do 50 hours a week in comedy on top of it.
You do comedy.
You gotta have the drive.
You have a show, you have this, you have shows, you put together some good big shows you put out there, brought some big comics out there. And you help Amy a lot, so it's like there's so
a lot of work, a lot of fun, right?
So it's like, but as long as you survive and you can do it and you're keeping up your health, why not? Because
fun, yeah.
20 years you may be like, I'm kind of tired now.
Yeah, you don't want to live with regret. I wish I did that. I wish I did that. You do it now.
So many people do. So many people do.
Well, all right, so let's read Wikipedia here because we always hear something. Robert Williams, born July 21st, 1951 to August 11th, 2014. American actor, comedian, born in Chicago. Started performing stand-up in San Francisco and Los Angeles mid-70s. He is credited with leading the San Francisco comedy renaissance. I remember somebody had told me about that. He was really the guy that brought back the scene of comedy out in San Francisco, yeah. After rising to fame as the alien in Mork and Mindy, Williams established a career in both stand-up comedy and a feature film and acting. He was known for his improvisational skills. Stand-up comedy, improvisational. Popeye in 1980 went on Good Morning Vietnam, which we mentioned. The Dead Poets Society. Aladdin, that's right, the cartoon Aladdin. I forgot about that one. The Birdcage.
Birdcage was a different role for him.
Yeah, he wasn't afraid to take on different stuff. For a lot of people, they don't want to risk, losing what they got. But he had no fear. Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting's another one.
Which we got a friend, Colleen McCauley, who does comedy. Well, she was in that movie, I believe. Right?
That's right.
She had a small role. Yeah. Hello, Colleen.
Hey, Colleen.
The World According to Garp. I don't remember that one.
I do. I remember that one too.
Yeah. Here's a classic I forgot about. Moscow on the Hudson. I remember watching that one. I cracked up, but that's an old-time classic. Wow. The Fisher King.
I remember that one.
That one really made you think.
Homeless guy, right?
Yeah, for he lost his family and he couldn't accept it in his head. He was homeless. And, 1 hour photo, which he mentioned, he took on a really different role. He was the bad guy, which
he looked different. He looked different too. Oh my God, he looked the part of it. I'm telling you.
Hook. That's right. He was in Hook. He played with Dustin Hoffman. That's right. I remember that. Mrs. Doubtfire. Jumanji. There's one we forgot. Jumanji.
Very fun. Yeah.
Night at the Museum. There was another one. I think they made 2 of those, right?
Yeah. 2. Yeah.
2 Night at the Museums. Here we go. He's nominated 4 times for Academy Awards, winning once for Best Supporting Actor for his performance as a psychologist in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, which he deserved that.
He received 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, 7 Golden Globe Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards, Grammy Awards. I remember him at the Comedy Store. He did a lot of stuff with my hero Sam Kinison out there. He was one of the originals with Pryor out there and Dangerfield at the Comedy Store that set the scene out there. But
he's amongst the big boys, but he stood up in his own way. Not to get all the attention, but he was one of the guys you mentioned.
There's a lot of big name comics that do great at stand up, but they don't hit it on the movie thing. He really hit it on the movie thing. He could pull that off.
He did both, yeah, definitely. Oh my God.
All right.
If anyone could pull it off, it was him. And I think, like you say too, everybody has an inspiration. You have Sam Kinison, I have him, but more than likely, the two we mentioned probably are very popular with a lot of different comics. How they say these people inspired me because of the way they did comedy, and we can see why. I mean, there's good reason.
Yeah, we all know. I mean, I did the TV show The Comedy Kitchen, and one of my favorite questions was who were the comics that inspired you? And 9 times out of 10 it was the legends, the Pryor, the Carlin, the Robin Williams. Yeah. I mean, it was always the legends. But I put it out there on Facebook here. I mean, so let's go over some of our friends here, their comments of Robin Williams. They said, some of your favorite memories. Michael Mancuso said, "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that was one of his famous lines.
Yeah. Hey, Mike.
Rodney Wirth, spelled an E, not an I like me, but...
related, no?
No, I don't know, just you get an E. just a close name, but 8 years old, he clearly remembers Mork for Mork on Happy Days and realizing I was watching a comedy genius. And you did, you knew back then, you knew you saw something big coming, man. He just had the charisma. Mrs. Doubtfire, which we mentioned, his HBO special, Live at the Met.
Yeah, that was the one.
And you know, and I don't think, he was up there for an hour, and I don't think he told one joke. It was all stories, and it was all improv, and it was all funny stuff.
And that's a genius. So can you imagine if you told him, if he was alive today, he said, what's the longest they did you could do? It could be hours.
Hours, yeah.
You just stand up there, and God knows how long the improv could last.
And some people tell you a story, you get bored, and you tune out. You never tune out. You sit there with bated breath. You want to hear more of the story because he made it so funny.
He's the one you want around with a bottle of liquor and three of you at the table. He's one of them.
That was from Beth Cormier. That was a good one. Donnie Buzzell, he was one of your former students, right?
Yeah.
So many, but when I first saw him, Mork and Mindy are Happy Days. Those were his things that gave him his big break. Mike Ferguson, Live at the Met again. Jay Vance, his stand-up when he tell the story of how golf was invented. I live in Boulder, Colorado, and met him when I was working in an Italian restaurant, and he was doing Mork and Mindy.
Wow.
Hey, you know what's cool is some of the Gabriel Iglesias says, you know, if I ever see you on the street and you ask me for a picture, I would be honored. I don't turn into an asshole when I'm off stage. And a lot of comics do. These big names are nice on stage, and if you meet them outside, they turn into the biggest jerk. I lived in California, and my father raced horses. I was at the horse track, and I ran into Grandpa from the Munsters.
Cut it out.
And I was so thrilled. I just wanted my kid, get out of here, kid, get out of here, mother. He was the biggest jerk. It was like, just ripped the little kid's soul out. I was so thrilled to meet him, and he was such a jerk. I was like,
oh my God.
I said, man, if you hit the big time, don't ever forget where you came from. And he forgot, you know, which I didn't dig.
And he achieved us.
Yeah, Amanda McIntosh, one of his famous lines, you're only given a little spark of madness, you mustn't lose it.
That's true.
And you know, that's true. You always make the best out of every situation. Don't let life get you down. He was known for excessive happiness, you know, which he was always high energy.
Yeah.
Good Morning Vietnam from Dan Thomas and Tamara Thompson Pruitt. Anthony Parisi was a talented and gentle soul. I'm reading the new biography, Robin, which is the book he put out, and so far it's highly recommended, so if you want to catch a book. Shannon Sylvia, I was the only one that enjoyed What Dreams May Come. Did you see that movie or no?
No, I didn't.
I didn't see it either. So I guess Shannon's the only one that enjoyed that. Maybe we can talk about it. Thank you. Mike Wirth, my cousin, too many to list, but grasp the times that he's gone, because it is shocking we lost such a comedy genius. Listen to a lot of stand-up on the road. The best one I like is The Alcoholic. You should check him out. Mrs. Doubtfire, the classics. Kennedy Richard, he brought up a good one. His tribute to the American flag. Have you seen that? Where
yes, I did.
He has the American flag, and he gives. Now there's the improv at the best right there, isn't it? Where he was just giving his point of view on life as the American flag.
That's amazing.
And he must have went on for 10-15 minutes, and it was funny, and it was patriotic, and he really did a great job at that. But
it shows the genius that was him, that he had embedded with him. And he could just take anything, like you said, the chair. You talk about the chair.
Just cup of coffee, you can want that chair or anything.
We can be that way.
It's natural comedy, right? Yeah. Well, you got to write down. I know we sit down and write down jokes. He just goes off. Yeah.
Some famous New England comic, and I know you've heard of Bob Marley. I know the same about Bob, but Bob told us one. Bob's a very good comic, one of the best in New England, and he did a show from years ago, probably in the late '90s. I had this little room in Milton, New Hampshire. He met me and Pat Napoli, another good comic, good friend, hey Pat, and he says, boy, I just had to do a show for a private party. I had to write 30 minutes of new material, and I come up with 32. I was disappointed. I wanted one. Pat looked at me, he goes, I haven't wrote a minute of comedy in 5 years being in the business.
Someone like that, you know, yeah.
But that's how Robin Williams was. If you told
they can do crowd work, and they just play off the crowd. You don't even need to write.
Come do a show for the supply company across the street. He probably improv every piece of equipment.
Well, some of the comics say jokes are from when you don't have material, not when you do. You know, if you're working with the crowd, you don't need any jokes. That's when you get stumped, then you tell a joke. But a lot of comics do it, and some can do it and some can't. Some get out there and they run out of stuff to say, and they need to pre-write. But
and I think that Robin Williams was an inspiration to all of us who saw him. And like you said too, and I agree with Mark and Mindy, you saw something there. But then when he
was an early young raw
when he hit the movies or when he did a show, like imagine doing that, Matt. Oh my God, we cringe with
right, yeah. that many people. But.
So when you saw him rise and do that, so it's such an inspiration that no matter what you do, yeah, you're helping people. You know you're helping people. I know I'm helping people. But to get at the pinnacle where someone asks you to open up for them, like you've had the opportunity about,
oh yeah, sure.
You know, so you say like, wow, I can do that. You know, and years ago you say like,
well, Larry the Cable Guy, right? That must have been a show.
It was so fun. When the radio station WGIR Rock 101 called me and says, "You've done a lot for us. You want to open up for Larry the Cable Guy?" I go, "Where? When?" This weekend, and I had shows. I had to push one show.
I'll drive there now and wait. Right?
But it's like it was such
I was like that with Lenny Clark. I mean,
and who would think
he
that,
don't
right?
just work for anybody, and I mean, it was a compliment to me that hey, we'll work for you.
And he's a great guy. And
he was. Well, he never forgot where he came from. He was really down to earth.
East Cambridge boy, you know, but to have that opportunity, and when you were thinking of being a comic or me before I said,
you never dreamed it'd come
along.
Like, yeah,
sure, I'm gonna work on police alert, oh yeah, and it was in Gardner too, of all places. Boardwalk.
Right. She was another one you said who really never forgot where she came from.
No,
right?
and she was really nice, and treated me and my wife Robin like we were best friends for years. But that's the kind of person that she.
Now this was before she hit the real big time.
It was
famous,
just
right?
at the cusp,
just
because she was getting booked as a headliner, and she's in New York, and so my friend made a contact in New York and got her to come out here, and she came out and sold out, and people were like, oh my God, this is Lisa Lampanelli, I gotta remember that name, the Queen of Mean. And you meet her off stage, she was nowhere near.
Yeah, not like her act, right? Yeah, but it worked for her. Yeah, she is best known for that. But
now she's all over the place.
Now I know a lot of comics now. They say when you're on stage, and you know when you got 200 people hanging on the edge of their seats to hear the next words that come out of your mouth, there's no high like it is, the ultimate high. Mm-hmm. And when you get off stage, there's nowhere to go but down. Mm-hmm. You can't. And a lot of comics to chase that high they have on stage, they turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol. I mean, have you ever seen that in the comedy world? And you've been in 25 years.
Yeah, I've seen
sad stories.
Some real sad that involve pot, cocaine, and what have you, or even doing stuff.
They're just chasing that high they can't find on stage. And
right.
Robert Williams did. I mean, he had a tragic ending to his life, and I guess, you know, he committed suicide, which everybody knows, but they said, he had a bitter divorce with his wife, which I know all about that, and he was forced to take on roles that he didn't want to do. Right. He didn't want to do a Mrs. Doubtfire too, because he said he didn't want to ruin what he accomplished. But
absolutely.
Financially, he was going to do it, which he didn't want to, and that wore on him. And later on, they talked to his wife, and I guess he was diagnosed with some disease where he was going to start losing his mind, and nobody wants to lose his mind, and he chose to take his own life. But I mean,
it was sad. And I've seen it a lot, because I've seen, and I know
because you've been around a lot longer than me, yeah. You've seen
even with the 10 years plus that you've been around, you've seen people who are
talented, sure,
and they turn to alcohol,
turn to the bottle. Yeah,
and it's just awful, because so when you get off the stage and people are talking, oh, Dennis, that was a great job, you're very funny, when are you going to play again? When you take the bottle, you're pushing those people away, saying like, I got to get this first, and they go to the bottle, and then people say, wow, what a jerk, or what a waste of time she's doing, like not being with the people, because when you get off the stage and people want to talk to you, like you said, you want to talk to them.
It's an honor, you're honored.
You don't want to be like, I gotta go. Be honored to get my picture. I gotta go now. And there are many comics that are like that.
But they chase that high, and the depression, they say the most depressed people are the ones who turn to comedy, because they're looking to. That's their escape from their depression, is talking about it, which is true, because I mean, I'm an alienated parent, and that's how I deal with it, is through comedy, talking about it. I have a routine, the child support superhero, and that's how I deal with my pain through, but it is a painful situation, and
remember what we talked about a long time ago, and one of my better students in class about it. There's a handful of teachers. But we used to...
I listened, so a lot of the students didn't listen.
We used to talk about how, like, a typical comedian is either an alcoholic, some druggie,
the most
living in their basement in their 50s, living with their parents, don't have a job. Some don't have a car. When I started doing comedy, I started to pick up.
A lot of people you can't book, because they can't find a ride.
Did you ever have to drive anybody?
I've had to pick some people up. I've had people 2 days before the show, I got to cancel, I can't find a ride. Then when are you going to book me again? Well, I can't book you again if you're not going to show up, but. I mean, I've never talked about it publicly, not because it was an embarrassment to me, but out of respect for him. But there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Mental illness is a disease, and my best friend I grew up with since we were little kids, he committed suicide. And it was such a painful time in my life. But he worked as a corrections officer up at the prison here in Massachusetts, and he dealt with the worst of the worst people there are in prison, and it really messed with his head. And you know, you can only take so much of it, and mental illness, it's a disease. You need to seek help. And after Robin died, I was contacted by a local newspaper, and you know, I gave my thoughts of, you know, you're chasing the high when you're off stage, and you know, it was a depressing. People use comedy to fight depression, but at the end I said, you know what, if any good comes out of it, maybe they'll spread awareness to other comics that, hey, you don't want to end up like this. This is, you know, if they turn to drugs or alcohol to chase that high, this is how you could end up, you know, by taking your own life. So
because when you see someone like your role model, which I consider him my role model, when I heard he committed suicide, I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
Why?
Shocking.
And you and I would ask the same question, like, why? Look what he had.
We fight to be where he is. He had it. And, you know, it just. But you know, you don't think that way. You know, even my friend, he wasn't thinking straight at the end. It was mental. So if you do have that, every comic, get some help, please. And there's no shame in that. And you know, me bringing his name up shows there's no shame. If you need help, that's what the people are there for. Okay. Yeah. If your car's broke, you go to a mechanic and get it fixed. If your head's broke, you go to a doctor. You
have to, because you can't. I mean, yeah, it's okay to hide behind comedy, but you just can't do that.
You can't do that alone,
and
right?
It catches up.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're right. You gotta have someone to at least talk to, whether it's in the medical field or in a psychological field or what have you. You know. But even if someone picks on, hey Dennis, I just gotta talk to let out some stuff. That's fine, because you yourself know you'd be a good listener. But it may help those people from going over the edge. And
well, even you, when my friend committed suicide, I did a show with you, and you said you were willing to listen, and I recognize that you were willing to listen. So thank you for helping me through that. I do appreciate that.
That was a tough time. We all have tough times to deal with, and yeah, like you said, comedy is a relief for us when we go through that, or even a relief.
It's an outlet. Yeah, sure. 'Cause you're getting out what you want to say, and people are listening. And if you can make them laugh about it, maybe, because even Sam Kinison, I mean, he did a lot of jokes that I did about marriage and divorce, and it helped me. I mean, I don't want to say it was therapy, but I mean, I knew I wasn't the only one alone going through that. I saw Louis Anderson was on one time, and he talked, his father was a bad alcoholic, you know, and he said, you know, I didn't turn into an alcoholic because I was continuing to let him control me if I did that. But I mean, people who are dealing with abuse, when you see Louis Anderson, you know you're not alone. You think you're the only person, and you're not. There's so many people dealing with it,
but like you said, the most important thing is like, don't do it alone, or don't look at it as like, it's embarrassing for me to tell people I've been abused, or I'm depressed, or I don't know how to think straight, or I need something to calm me down. You know, don't be afraid. You're right, because
you reach out to a friend, but a friend can you need some professional help when it gets so bad. And my friend was like that. I tried to help him, but he was beyond a friend patting him on the back. He needed professional help, and it was sad he didn't turn to it. So I hope people do, if they're a comic or anybody watching this, really turn to it. But
absolutely, and it's too bad. Too bad we went out and said, hey Robin, come on, let's get together. You think anything could help a person through that, and people don't realize how much they help. Like, we don't realize how much we help people when we do comedy and helps them therapeutically. But it does the same thing for us. Whatever you're going through and I'm going through, it's like, gee, I forgot about it because I was able to make people laugh, and I know they appreciate it. But then someone needed money for an operation, or someone had a house burned down. But like you said, if
you can do what you love to do and help people out at the same time, it's a win-win. There's no losing that. But,
absolutely.
So we got Robin Williams, The Comedy Store, Happy Days, Mork and Mindy, Popeye, Good Morning Vietnam, the comedic roles, the serious roles, the awareness he rose for suicide awareness. Anything else you want to talk about, your hero, before we end here?
Just that he may have helped more people than he thinks. Like you said, the best story is a Make-A-Wish story, but I'm sure he did numerous ones of those.
That you don't know about, I'm sure, that he didn't make public. A lot of people don't make it public.
So to all comics out there, look at someone like that and say they had the life, like you said. But also, you could learn from someone like that too. And depression is a terrible thing, and I know people who go through it. And it's a tough thing. It's tough on your mind and your body, and you're susceptible to illness. So take Robin Williams as an example. The guy's a saint because of all that he did, but he's letting us know, like, okay, this is what I did. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this. I hate to leave you guys, but I gotta go.
Because he led, you saw him as a lovable character, but he led the rock and roll lifestyle with, the cocaine and the drugs and everything. And I remember he was the one that found Belushi's in the hotels there. We're getting run out. Well, that's my mom called me. See, everybody's calling us. Nobody calls until we do a podcast every time.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
All right. Well, Robin Williams catches movies. You can have him for the younger generation. He's one of the legends. Come out and see him. Jerry, until the next time, I thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you, brother.
Enjoy your day. You enjoy your day. Until next time.
Peace out. God bless. See ya.